This is the remains of Larkin-Williams Road at Booter North. It's now used by the park, and it dead ends at the archery fields in the distance. Over there is the boat ramp in Valley Park. Has a parking lot, some restrooms, and I think a couple picnic areas. It's a nice little park over there. Remainder of Larkin-Williams Road. I don't think it's been used for vehicle traffic since the flood of 1993. Closed around that time because a lot of the road was washed away. And then it became a trail, but I don't think this is used as a trail anymore based on the barricade. This is a small trail that was built to connect the old road to Booter's soccer fields. It's a nice, short, peaceful trail in the back of the park. This is where the trail intersects the old road. Back when this was still full of cabins, there would have been cabins all up and down this road here. I think there was even a bait shop around this area back in the 40s and 50s. Where the road abruptly stops before it becomes abandoned. After repeated flooding, part of the road up ahead washed away. I've never explored that site because it's so overgrown. I'm pretty sure it just dead ends into the riverbank. Here's the view of the Merrimack from the old road. There's not a whole lot on this stretch of it. Here's another view of the intersection. So the trail's on the left, the road stops straight ahead, and then there's some barricades on the right. Maybe a boat ramp was there at one time, I don't know. I guess it's to keep people from walking into the river. I'm amazed that there's still striping on this road, even now. Pulling up my phone now to see if there's any landmarks near here, because there's really not a whole lot stretched in the Merrimack. Yeah, really isn't. The old Chrysler plant would be up on the right, and then there's some soccer fields on the left, but all that's obscured by trees, so you can't see much from here. This is a small bridge on the old Larkin-Williams Road. Looks very old. It's definitely been here for a very long time. Still has some signage on it when it was a road. And then up ahead is where it abruptly ends, near the Chrysler complex, or where it was. This is a side view of the bridge. I don't know a lot of history behind it, but I can tell you that the stone supports have been here for over 100 years based on the stone design. The bridge itself is probably maybe 60 years old, based on the concrete design. Can't be too old. Makes me wonder the history behind it. You can also see some bricks on the top of the left support, which is kind of interesting. I don't know the name of that creek below it. I'm sure it has a name. A lot of the creeks out here have names. Continuing on Larkin-Williams, there's an old power pole on my left and an old road sign up ahead. This part doesn't have any striping anymore, so probably faded away after the repeated flooding. This is another bridge on this old side of Larkin-Williams. This is built in the late 60s, early 70s by the St. Louis-San Francisco Railroad for the Chrysler complex, but the complex no longer exists. I think it's now used by the BNSF Railroad. Doesn't see as much railroad traffic as it once did, but it's cool to still see it here. Before the bridge, I don't think there was anything here. Probably homes or something. Doesn't see as much rail traffic anymore, but looks like there's a train on top of it today. Continuing up the hill, after the railroad bridge, there's a pedestrian bridge, but I'm not sure if it's still used anymore. Pretty overgrown over here. This would have continued straight for a little bit and then crossed what is now Interstate 44. Of course, back then, before the interstate, it was just straight and went all the way down to Yarnell Road near downtown Fenton. Here's a view of the railroad bridge from the other side. It's a very quiet part of Booter North. Here's another angle of the bridge. I love this side of the park. It's pretty peaceful since a lot of people don't come out this way. This is the way back to the main part of the park. It's a nice, short, paved trail. Not too far out of the way of the rest of the park. Now on the complete opposite side of the park, near the archery fields. This is the abandoned section of Larkin-Williams on this side of the park. They built a new road a while ago, as you can see, to connect what's left of the road to other roads of the park. Forgot their names. This abandoned section is not as long, but it has another bridge on it, which is exciting. So this is Larkin-Williams at the archery fields at Booter North. This is about how wide the road was when it's still being used. But as you can see, there's a huge section that's gone now. Yeah, there's not there's not much left over here. There's also a little beach down there, which is cool. When the water is very low, a little sandbar appears out in the middle of the river, and you can walk out and catch a train on the bridge. You also find artifacts like this. This is a fragment of a clay pipe, more than likely from plumbing. This is about as far as I walk on this side. When the water is lower and it's not as muddy, you can walk all the way to the bottom of the bridge. It's really cool. Most of the fragments you'll find along the Riverbank River are bottle fragments, like this one. Sometimes you will find something interesting like this at the side of an old pot or something. A lot of ceramics, a lot of glass, a lot of ceramics. Very rarely you'll find an intact glass bottle. It's not often at all. But I did find one out here. One last look of the railroad bridge out in Valley Park before I head back up to the rest of the park. This is built in 1923, so it's 102 years old now. And then the stone pillars next to it were built in the 1870s, 1880s, when the St. Louis-San Francisco Railroad first came through the area. It's a really cool looking bridge. And then the bridge behind it was built, I think, in 1983, and it carries Highway 141. It replaced a bridge built in 1916, but there's been a bridge there for a very long time. Plotting out a way to get back up to the park, I think this way in front of me is a lot easier to get down and up than the way I took down over there. This way it looks a lot more clear and easier than what I took down. You just have to be careful of the sand and the mud and not tripping. Be careful on this loose asphalt. It's not very well connected to the ground. And now I'm back up to the old road. Yeah, this way's a lot easier. So, that's the way it took up. Over there is the way it took down. I would choose this way if you want to go down there. Just be careful. This part of the old Larkin-Williams Road is a very overgrown section. It was once a wide road, but a lot of it's gone now, as you can see. There used to be homes on the left side, big brick homes, but they're all gone now, washed away by floodwaters, which is probably where some of those bricks come from. These are now archery fields. Offers a very cool, unique view of the bridge. Lighting's perfect right now because there's no sun. That side over there is the Riverbank Greenway, which offers a really cool view of the bridge because you can ride your bike or walk directly underneath the bridge. Over here you can't really do that because the old road is too beat up for that. There's a date stamp, 1923. So this is the supports for the modern bridge, and then over here on this side you have the ones in the 1870s, 1880s. They've held up well for all they are. I think they're limestone. More than likely source nearby. Probably Rockworth Reservation, somewhere around there. Or maybe another quarry, I don't know. This angle gives you a neat look of the design of the bridge. It's amazing how well it stood up for how old it is. It is 102 years old this year, built 1923. Another really cool angle of the bridge. So on the left you have the supports from 1923, and on the right you have the original supports for the original bridge from the 1870s, 1880s. Looking up, you can see more of the design of the bridge. It's a really cool looking design. This is really the official end of the old Larkin-Williams Road at Booter North. It just fades away on this side. Before they realigned Highway 141 in 1983, this would have continued straight to the old highway, which is now South Elam Avenue. This would have been lined with homes, probably maybe stores, I don't know. I do know there's a lot of homes out here at one point. Walking back to the archery fields. This side is not very wide at all. Maybe could fit one car, one at a time. Maybe it was wider at some point. Then again, cars back when this was still used by cars were a lot smaller.